What's going on, everybody? I'm Zach from the LumiosePost, where we talk about all things Pokemon. And, the last few weeks we have been really hard on Pokemon games. We first talked about everything wrong with Red and Blue, everything wrong with Gold and Silver, and we even talked about everything wrong with Ruby and Sapphire. And while I do plan to continue this series and trash Diamond and Pearl, Black and White, and so on, I wanted to take a moment to be a little positive. So today, we are looking at everything that Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow got right. Now, before we get into the first thing that these games got right, I will warn you, this video is going to contain opinions that may not be your own. So, if you can't handle that, maybe log off here. But that said, if you disagree and you can be nice about it, let me know in the comments why I'm wrong. Let's discuss. What did you think was great about these games? Did you think these games were just god-awful? Let me know. Let me hear your thoughts in the comments below. Now, getting in with the first thing that I want to note that Red and Blue and Yellow got right is that there were many areas in these games that you did not have to explore. Now, normally Pokemon games are extremely linear. You kind of have to go from A to B, and there is only one route that connects A to B, and then you have to go from B to C, and there is one route that connects it from B to C, and so on. But Red and Blue honestly had a lot of areas, and Yellow, of course, as well, had a lot of areas that you did not have to visit. Like, it wasn't a part of the main story. You may benefit by going there by finding a legendary Pokemon or just a Pokemon you wanted to add to your team, but it wasn't necessary. Places like the power plant or the Seafoam Islands, or even just certain routes. If you went through the game a certain way, you could kind of avoid certain routes and so on and so on. So I thought that was really neat that did that. And the reason why is because I think it really adds to the exploration element of Pokemon, because the thing about Pokemon is it is you going on a journey with these incredible monsters that have incredible powers, and part of that is the exploration, right? I mean, that's one of the things I love about Pokemon is exploring a new region, and so I think that this is really cool that there were some areas that you weren't forced to go to. It truly felt like you discovered them, especially areas like the power plant where you accessed it by kind of swimming down this little side path from outside Rock Tunnel, and it led you to the power plant. So it was kind of out of the way too. It wasn't just something you walked by, and I think that's really neat and definitely a strong point of these games. Now, number 2 is going to be the rival. Now, Blue or Gary, whatever you want to call them, they really pushed us to want to beat them. I wanted to beat Blue or Gary. I named him Gary, so, big anime fan growing up, still am today. So his name was Gary in my book, and I wanted to beat him more than anything. I could not stand how arrogant he was, and I wanted to more than knock out his Pokemon. I wanted to kill his Pokemon, and unfortunately we may have. Rest in peace, Gary's Raticate. Anyways, so we really had this rivalry that pushed you to want to beat them. So that was very beneficial. And I will clarify, I don't think that a rival has to be a jerk for you to want to beat them. Like, for example, honestly, Gary isn't as big of a jerk as, say, Silver. But, for example, Barry and Diamond and Pearl, he is a rival that, in my opinion, you want to beat, but isn't a jerk. He literally creates like a rivalry with you. Like, he's, saying, oh, I'm gonna beat you, and you're sitting there like, oh, no, you're not. In comparison to these other rivals who are just kind of like, let's battle, I hope I lose. And it's like, what? That's not the point, But yeah, that's my take. Blue, Gary, great rival. Amazing rival. Now, the next would be the twist. Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow, I actually criticized them in a previous video for not really having a plot. However, they did have an amazing twist, and that was you have beaten Lorelei, you have beaten Bruno, you have beaten Agatha, you have beaten Lance, you've beaten the Elite Four. You're walking into the Champion's Chamber, and then Gary or Blue turns around. And it's revealed that your rival is now the champion, and you will have to defeat them one last time in order to claim the title of the champion of Kanto. And I thought that was beautiful. That was such a good twist. That the music, everything about that was perfect. That was something that just, I'm honestly surprised they haven't tried to recapture in another Pokemon game other than like I guess Sun and Moon kind of did something similar, but not really because they weren't the champion. It was just Kukui or How, depending on what game you were playing, tried to battle you for the title, but you were champion. And then Let's Go obviously did the same twist with Trace, but this was the OG. This was the first time they did it, and it was phenomenal in my opinion. Now, the last thing we're going to get into is the villains. The villains of the Gen 1 games were obviously Team Rocket, and now this may seem a little contradictory to my everything red and blue and yellow got wrong list, because in there, again, I complained about how there wasn't really much of a plot, but I really think that Team Rocket were amazing villains. Now, hear me out. I still stand by there should have been a plot, but I don't think that a plot has to involve the villains. For example, most of the time you're doing gyms, but there's an overarching plot, but in Sword and Shield, it felt like the gyms were the plot, and the Chairman Rose stuff was really more of a side thing, to be honest. And I feel like that was the case here, just the gyms didn't feel as plotty as they did in Sword and Shield. And while I do wish there was more of a plot, I still praise the simplicity and the realisticness of Team Rocket. They're this organization that just, it's plain and simple. We steal Pokemon, and we turn them around for a profit. It makes perfect sense. We have poachers in our world. It makes sense that we would have, in the Pokemon world, people who try to exploit these Pokemon's powers for just a profit. Not world domination, not trying to drown everyone, Team Aqua, but just simply for a profit. And I love the simplicity of that. I love the mob boss aspect that Giovanni has on, where like he's even a gym leader and all this, which is another great twist that the game had. And it worked so well. It felt realistic. Like if Pokemon were real, I feel like we would have a Team Rocket before we'd have a Team Aqua or a Team Flare. So I absolutely applaud Team Rocket. I think that they were amazing villains. Wish they had been a little more involved in the plot instead of just kind of these run-ins with them. They actually tied into an overarching plot. But I still think they were amazing villains. One of the best teams we've had in all of Pokemon, in my opinion. So yeah, on that note, like I said, let me know why I'm wrong, or if you want to be nice, why I'm right in the comments below. Be sure to also like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. Like I said, we plan to bash some more games, and you know what? We're probably going to uplift some along the way as well. So you don't want to miss that. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell. Until next time, I will see all of you later.